Media guys, do a little bit so we can hear your questions. Let me know when you set up the cameras and get started.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm good. Robbie, you good? I'm good. All right, guys, go ahead with questions.
Derek, when you guys go up tempo like you did at the end of regulation and overtime, how comfortable are you? And would you like to see that maybe more often during the course of the game?
It's something I've always loved. Maybe it's because that's how I played in college. Just playing as fast as possible. There's certain tempos like in college, like I don't think you need in the NFL. But playing fast has always been fun for me, and I enjoy it when it's time. And there's a time and a place for it. And I'm not so wise to know when that is. Coaches study those things, and he would know better than I do. Especially he's looking at the whole team aspect of it. And so, for me, I've always enjoyed it. I've always loved it. So if he ever wants to, I'm always excited. He knows that. I love doing that. I just always think that the mental part, if you can think fast and process fast, then you can have an advantage. But also there's, when you huddle and do things different ways, you can get in different shifts and different kind of things that you can't really do up tempo. So, there's, depends on what you want to do. Yeah.
Is there a level of understanding of the playbook that needs to be there, not just for you, but across the board, to be able to communicate at the line of scrimmage like that?
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, and you would hope that in OTAs and training camp you figure those things out. There's been times this year where coach goes fast, and sometimes when we don't, and so I think he feels comfortable when we do. I can't speak for him, but there's a time and a place for it for sure.
You guys haven't had a bad weather game this year. You might get rain on Sunday. What's the importance for the offense to get some work with a wet ball this week in practice?
Yeah, anytime there's a chance. I've practiced more wet ball drills than I've played in games. Even if there's a chance, even if it doesn't say it on the radar, or 6 days from now, or whatever it is at that time, you still practice it and get ready for it. So I'm always doing that. This week is no different. Anytime you go to Seattle, places like Seattle, you go to Miami. For some reason in Miami, it always rains during the game at some point. So you always practice those things and get ready for it. Just to be ready. But it's not something that I do every single week, but it's something that I definitely prepare for ahead of time.
What do you get is somebody have a hose out spraying the ball, or is there like a bucket you dump water in?
I have seen a lot of things. I've seen some pretty crazy things happen. But for us, I'll take a water bottle and just make sure I spray my hands, make it as hard as possible. For the receivers, they spray their hands, and we do our drills, and I do it with the center and the running backs and all that. And you want to make it as tough as possible, so then when you get to the game, you're like, oh, it's not even that bad.
Is it more the snap? Is it the getting the ball like to where you want it to be in your hand, or is it the actual throwing? Like, what is the biggest challenge?
It really depends. Sometimes it depends on the football, but really, just making sure the operation, the snap, and those kind of things. When you go to throw the ball, you try your best to be as pinpoint as possible, knowing that in that kind of weather it may veer a little bit here and there, but you make sure the operation of handling the ball, handing it off, all of those things is clean.
Derek, obviously you've thrown a lot of touchdowns to Davante. However, that touchdown against Broncos, that was a game winner. When you look at your on-the-field memories with Davante, where does that touchdown rank in terms of kind of your memories of him on the field?
Yeah, it's got to be up there, probably the number one, because we did it in the NFL. I think he has 10 touchdowns now in the NFL, with me this year, and that's something that we haven't done since college. So there's 9 years of gap there. So definitely that one felt good because it was a win. But I have different fun ones. He caught the career touchdown record breaker at Fresno State. His record breaker at Fresno State. His first touchdown was a slant. There's certain memories that I have. With him, but definitely doing it in the NFL is probably our favorite.
To set that up, obviously big completions to Keelan on the game's tying drive, and then to Foster as well in overtime. I guess big picture, how important is complementary playmaking from guys around Davante?
Absolutely. It shows. You have to be able to do that. Those guys stepping up and making those plays, because it shows teams that, of course, they want to take Davante away. Of course, everyone wants to do those things, and when they do, they know that they're leaving themselves susceptible to somebody else, and those guys have been making plays, and when they can make plays like that, it doesn't only help Davante, but it helps our team. It makes playing quarterback a lot easier. That's for sure.
When you have a receiver like that who sees the game so well, the way he thinks through it, how valuable is that for a quarterback?
Oh, it's very valuable. When it's very, I wouldn't say it's rare, but the best ones are the ones that can see it like a quarterback. I've played with a lot of receivers in my 9-year career, and a lot of smart guys. But Davante, when he can see it like a quarterback. I said that about Hunter also. Crabtree was another one. Coop was another one. I'm gonna stop naming people before someone gets upset. But there's guys that come to mind that I'm like, hey, if they play this coverage, like, yeah, I got it, no problem. It's like you don't have to explain it and the why and the reasoning. They get it. And Tay is one of those guys where you really don't even have to say anything. He knows the coverage. He knows where I'm trying to put the football. And we're starting to get on the same page with some of that stuff. We don't even have to talk about certain things. We kind of just know already, and it's showing up in games for us.
So do you know that he's going to run the route that he ran on that touchdown pass, or that's
on the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that Coach drew up, and Tay put his own thing on it, and we had run across the field and hit a 24-yarder earlier. And he broke to the right on that one, and that's the play Coach called. And you got to give Josh credit, give Tay credit, and that, especially the O-line. We wouldn't even be talking about it if it wasn't for them.
Derek Carr for the Seahawks, he's had a good year.
Yeah.
So far. What stood out by him?
When I watch him, obviously at that stadium, the first thing you think is Richard Sherman. I'm not comparing him to Sherman or anything like that, right now. But just when you turn the tape on, you see a really tall corner. He's physical. He can run. He stays on top. Really good football player. And, Sherm is Hall of Fame type player, and he's obviously a rookie, has a long way to go. But when you turn the tape on, he stands out. He's extremely talented, at catching the football. When the ball's in his area, it doesn't look hard for him to make plays on it. He's very talented out of his breaks for being that long and to be able to transition the way that he does. Very, very impressive. Yeah, absolutely.
What's your go-to food on the Thanksgiving table?
Mashed potatoes. Yeah, my mom, growing up, she used to make everyone mashed potatoes, and then she'd make me my little pot, because that was my favorite thing. So shout out, Mom. Thanks.
What do you avoid?
Geez. Goodness. I try and avoid the green beans. I eat healthy enough as the season goes on, so I try and avoid them, but my wife won't let me. So.
Derek, were you aware of what Jakob Johnson was all about prior to him getting here? Also, how important has he been, and did you know that he doesn't have a carry in his career?
I didn't know he didn't have a carry. I know he has a touchdown. On a pass. Yep, I know he had that. And we knew about him, and the first thing I knew about him was his toughness. Some of the things he's played through and tried to play through, and the injuries he's had, and coming back. I mean, to still do what he does and at a high level, and the violence that he plays with is impressive. But he's also another guy that's so valuable to our offense. With having a guy like that, when they respect that, that's why Tay was able to get open on the first touchdown. Guys biting up on the run, and everyone doing their job. But he's another guy that does that. I know if y'all talk to him, he's having a little bit of a rough day, the World Cup. So just be nice to him today.
All set? Great.
Good. Thank y'all. Yep.
Yep, go ahead and start.
Davante, that touchdown pass in OT, how much of that on the play fake was pre-planned, and how much was you saw what Patrick Surtain was doing and you reacted in the moment?
The call was to read what was going on with his leverage and the coverage, but it was based on something that we had seen earlier in the day, just kind of marrying the concepts together. And then, if he overplayed it, then the idea was to run the route that I ran.
How much do you pride yourself on just being a student of the game and really studying tendencies and that sort of thing?
That's like 90% of what makes me me versus all the rest of the stuff they talk about. It's a lot of the studying and the anticipation and knowing what's coming, or having an idea what's coming, and then formulating a plan. And then if that plan is not the best, then it's adjusting from there and then find the best way to do it from based off how they're playing me.
Davante against Broncos, after the first touchdown grab that you had in the game winner, it seemed like you were pretty animated. Usually pretty quiet out there. It seems like what kind of led to that extra emotion that you had.
Well, I still think that was pretty chill. That wasn't really too crazy. I've gotten up. That was probably about a 4 out of 10. But sometimes you have a little bit more emotion, especially based off how the season's been going. So to make a big play in a big situation or in the middle of the game at any point is something that, like I talked about, is contagious. So sometimes having that a little extra energy. Most of the time I keep it in and just try to focus on the job's not done type of mentality. But sometimes it's good to show some of that and let it creep out for your teammates and for yourself too.
You also have a young corner, Tariq Woolen. He's had a really good season so far. What have you seen from him just watching him today?
Yeah, he looks good on tape. He's a big, much taller corner than what's normal in the league, and he's a rookie, and he doesn't look like a rookie at all on tape. So I'm sure it'll be a fun matchup. But yeah, I got respect for what I've seen on tape so far for sure.
Do you think 1 week can carry over to the next? Can you take the momentum of a win like that in Denver, and does that carry over to this week in preparing for Seattle?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, momentum to me is a little bit more than what we have right now. I think that it's definitely a good start, but I think you got to do a little bit more of what we're doing to gain momentum. But I think we're doing the right thing, and obviously we finished out the game. There's a lot of things, we gave them chances that we shouldn't have given them maybe, as far as the offensive side, not capitalizing in certain situations. But for the most part, I feel like, as far as finishing that game, like I said, winning takes care of a lot of stuff. So, just the morale. We had a good week of preparation all last week, came in and, had this same type of day as we did today, a little bit more above the neck. And then, just got to capitalize on another great week of preparation. I think everybody's got the right mentality and approaching it the same way, and everybody looks hungry. So, we just got to keep that going.
Seems like this offense has been at its best when both you and Josh are getting a lot of opportunities and putting up big numbers. He said that's kind of a product of he feeds off of you when you do make big plays. Is it kind of the same way when you say the way he's been running, you feed that off of him this year?
100%. I tell him that at the start of every game. I say it's me and you all day. We two of the people that are relied on a lot in this on this team to get this offense going, and we recognize that. We're ready for the burden that comes with it. So, I just remind him, and Josh is a dog. So at the end of the day, it's not nothing that we really need to talk about, but it's something that we like to kind of use as a spark for one another, just kind of to get it going in the right direction right out the gate.
To follow on that, obviously on Sunday you guys got key contributions late from Keelan and Foster. Just kind of speaking big picture around what you and Josh are doing, how crucial are those contributions from complementary players around what you guys do?
Well, that's been pretty much the talk of the town. That's what coach has been emphasizing all year. Is obviously they're going to show certain coverages to try to take me away. So guys got to step up and make plays. If they want to double, obviously they can't double everybody. So that leaves more opportunities one-on-one, or maybe uncovered opportunities like what Foster had in the middle of the field. So, and 10 times out of 10 he's going to make you pay if he's got some space like that. He can run a lot better than what people expect. Even when he got the ball, got it in two hands like a fullback, he's still moving down the middle of the field. So, that's basically what we got to do as a team is, if other guys are going to get doubled and, they want to take, Foster away, or they want to take Mack away on a fade or something and double him, then, I got to step up, or other guys got to kind of do the same thing and play complementary football on that side of football.
You're the first Raider with double-digit receiving touchdowns since Tim Brown in 2000. Then you look at the record books and you're putting your name up there. Does that have a special meaning for you, being somebody that followed the Raiders as a kid?
Well, yeah, for sure. I'm more of a, the look back when it's all said and done type guy, though, whether that's all said and done for the year or, my career. So, we obviously I'm doing everything I can to keep the ball moving, and that's where my mind is. And then we'll let the records and, the touchdowns and all that stuff take care of itself, because when you focus on that, I feel like you're focusing on the wrong thing. It's not about getting a crazy number of touchdowns at the end of the year. Obviously, you want that, but if you're thinking about it that way, then you're not going to play the right way, or you're just going to put a lot of pressure on yourself that you don't need. So I just think about being productive and putting together good film, and if I'm doing that, typically that means the ball's going to be on the way, and I just got to complete the play, and then we'll look back when it's all said and done and see where I am in the record books and those type of things. But just for now, I'm just trying to keep that ball pushing.
That's good. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thanks.